soup is such a great idea for a winter weeknight meal, but if you've ever had problems with a cream-based soup in particular, we're here to solve them. Well, I'm not, but Becky Low is helping us to sort that out with a recipe for broccoli cheddar soup. Always great to have you in the kitchen. It's a good day when Becky's in our kitchen. And I didn't mean to apply pressure, but this is one of those traditional recipes that brings me back to my Grandma Jo's kitchen in Tremont, and we would get so excited when she had broccoli cheese soup on the stove.
You know, food is memories, and it associates with your grandma.
Yeah.
And so, I am afraid.
No, if anyone can bring it home, it's Becky. But there's some trickiness with cream-based soups.
Yes. Okay, so the first thing is that you don't want to do this in a crock pot. And you mentioned that with the teas. First off, you have to do some pre-preparation. And second, it cooks so quick. So why do you want to put it in a crock pot to cook for hours and become mush and ugly looking?
Right.
You know, so it's just something that you can do quickly on the stove when you come home at night.
So step one, keep the slow cooker in the cupboard.
Yes. Okay, then some of the pre-prep is that we want to saute some onions.
Okay.
And so they're nice and starting to turn golden, they're opaque, and it just changes the flavor. And you know what I think about onions anyway.
Becky's sacrificing for us with this recipe.
Okay, next step is that we want to add our vegetables. And for time saving, you can get these pre-cooked. In fact, I'm going to let you open that one. I'll open this one, and we'll put some broccoli. Of course, it's a broccoli soup.
And with the onions?
We want to add, go ahead and add it right into the onions.
Okay.
That whole package, and we'll do just a little bit more. So you can buy these pre-prepared vegetables. It's always a trade-off. You're doing time or you're doing money, you know, whichever you like with it, but sometimes they come in big chunks like that.
But you talked about the visual appeal here, and broccoli presents kind of a problem there because if it's overcooked, it can become that green speckly mush that we don't want.
Yes. And so don't overcook it. If you were to put it in the crock pot, it definitely becomes overcooked.
Yeah.
In fact, even just that little bit of time, I have prepared this soup since I arrived here at the set this morning, and even now it's starting to turn because we've let it go just a touch longer. Okay, so it's tender, and also I'm going to saute my vegetables just lightly with the butter and the onions to begin with. So that starts it. Oh, and I forgot. I want to add just a little bit of garlic. You don't want this garlic tasting.
Right.
You just want some nice flavor with it.
Right, okay.
Okay, and this is about 2 or 3 minutes that you're sauteing in the pan. You know, a nice soup pan or a stock pot, whatever you'd like with it.
Okay.
Okay, we'll add some canned broth to it. Okay, and we'll bring this to a boil and let that simmer, and for about, once it comes to a boil, for about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, just until they're tender, which is what we have right here.
Yes.
Okay, so they're tender, we have the juice in there. The third step is to add the, you know, if you want it a finer texture, then we can use a potato masher and mash that up. Okay, if you don't, then I just like it this way. We want to add some salt to it. Okay, and then our thickening that we'll add.
Here comes the cream. Here comes the goods.
Yeah, the goods. Whole milk. Now I'm suggesting whole milk with this. And the reason for that is that, you know, if you're adding, because you're adding this, you're cooking it, and there's just a little bit of acid in there, then it is going to turn skim milk curdly, grainy. You know, so we don't want that.
And the whole milk brings the richness too.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to have that. So I've just simply stirred some cornstarch into the whole milk. Okay, and you say cornstarch is your friend with a cream-based soup. It is. It makes it a little bit clearer, and it also, whoops, I didn't get that quite mixed in.
No one's looking, Becky. It's just you and me.
Grandma Jo would just turn over.
It's just you and me in this kitchen. Nobody else matters.
Okay, so we're thickening this up. Now the cornstarch mix in much smoother, and so you're going to have a creamier texture. I love making the flour into a roux, which is the flour and the butter, and you partially cook it, but it also has a different texture with it. Okay, so this one's going to be more clear, and it will also be a smoother texture. Okay, time for the cheese. Cheese, yep. Oh, before we add the cheese, though, we want to add a cup of cream to this as well. There it is. Okay, a cup of cream, that is that creaminess to it. And this does need to thicken, which it hasn't quite come up to temperature yet, so we'll pretend that it has. And that's a temperature thing. If you're worried about the consistency, then just monitor your temp. Okay. Yeah. Also, I'm going to add just a pinch. What's that? Cayenne pepper. Oh, really? Okay, not for heat, just for a little bit of flavor. That surprises me. Just a pinch. Okay. It is, and you know, it's like anything. You know, we add sometimes for the heat. Dump it in. Thank you. That's my husband. Yeah. Sometimes we just want that little bit of flavor. Okay. Once this thickens and it's hot, Then we add the cheese, and it's about 6 cups of cheese that we'll add into it. I'm going to let that thicken before I add the cheese to it.
A sharp cheddar?
A sharp cheddar. You want a sharp one so that really brings out the cheesy flavor. And plus, if you have it a mild or a new cheese, then you're going to have more strings with it.
Right, right.
So that's just kind of a preference. Actually, we like that as well.
Look at it plated up with some bacon toppings, some crumble on top.
On the top, and you just have a nice warm bowl of soup that you can use during the holiday mayhem.
Perfect for our weather this week, and you've given me an early Christmas present, kind of taking me back to those childhood memories. So thank you so much. Look for Becky's recipe on our website, studio5.ksl.com. You can just click there on the recipe button, or you can access our search engine in the upper right-hand corner of our website screen and type in Becky Low's name or any recipe titles to pull up a focus search.